Okay. An important announcement before we start. We thank God had over 100 people come tonight that were not registered, so we are short seats. Anybody who's in high school or does not mind standing and giving up your seat, please raise your hand and stand along the wall. Anybody in high school or who does not mind standing, please give your seat to somebody older. And welcome.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Chavi, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to this year's Mikvah Chana Gala. As we begin tonight's program, our thoughts are with our brothers and sisters in Israel. We pray for the success of the brave soldiers in the IDF, for the immediate freedom for all those held captive in Gaza, and a complete recovery of those who are injured. May our prayers and tehillim help bring them blessings and miracles for peace and security. Shir lamalot esa einai el heharim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai oseh shamayim ba'aretz. Al yitain lamot raglecha al yanum shomrecha. Hine lo yanum v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael. Adonai shomrecha, Adonai tzilcha al yad yaminecha. Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka v'yarecha balayla. Adonai yishmarcha mikol ra yishmor et nafshecha. Adonai yishmor tzeitcha uboecha me'ata v'ad olam.
It's so beautiful to see such a full house. I think it's since before COVID that we were able to have so many join us here tonight. I'm just waiting for Dara, who's busy making sure everybody has a seat, and we'll get started. Did anyone see Dara? She's so worried that everyone should have a seat. It's really beyond incredible to see such a packed house. And thank you to all the volunteers that stood up to give some of the others a place to sit. You know, Chabad, we never turn anyone away, so everyone's always welcome. All right. We are thrilled to have with us tonight Aleeza Ben Shalom, the renowned Jewish matchmaker on Netflix who traveled all the way from Israel to be with us. Beyond her impressive television career, Aleeza excels as a matchmaker, dating coach, speaker, and author. Thank you, Aleeza, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Chavi, Elisheva, and Shiri, who led us so beautifully into Hillim. You are the heart and soul of Mikvah Chana, and we are so appreciative of everything you do each and every day to make the mikvah such a special place and such a special experience for so many women. Good evening, everyone. I am Dara Orbach, and I'm thrilled to be here once again with my dear friend, Toba Grossbaum, as we welcome you to Mikvah Chana's Women's Gala 2024. It is truly amazing to be able to gather together with 600 women in attendance. Let's harness this energy and draw inspiration to learn and to transform. I would also like to take a moment to wish my daughter Annie a very happy birthday. It is especially meaningful that she is named after my great-grandmother Chana, in whose honor the mikveh is named. At times like this, it is the power of Jewish unity that will transform the darkness into light. It was in the merit of the Jewish women that we were redeemed from Egypt, and it will be in the merit of Jewish women that will be redeemed from this exile speedily in our days. A special thank you to our entire Mikvah Chana committee and to Chavi, Esti, Levi Yisroel, Marion, Jessica, Whitney, Ann, Stephanie, Artie, and the entire Friendship Circle staff for all your help with making tonight's event possible.
Throughout our history, at times of crisis, we turn to the Torah and our traditions to guide us and give us clarity. During the most challenging times in Israel in 1967, 1973, and other times, the Lubavitcher Rebbe called upon the Jewish people around the world to do our utmost to help the people of Israel, both materially and spiritually. The mitzvah of lighting Shabbat candles brings light into the world and brings blessings to the people of Israel. In your bag, you will find a candle lighting card with some special prayers that can be added for the IDF soldiers and the captives. The mitzvah of mikvah stands as a potent spiritual tool. It is a moment to offer prayer for whatever you may need for you and your family and for the people of Israel. In your bag, you'll find another card providing information to sign up for your personal tour of Mikvah Chana. We invite you to consider joining us to explore and learn more about the special mitzvah, particularly during this significant time in Jewish history. Tonight, we fondly remember Rabbi Moshe Kaznetz, Zechrona Livracha. Beyond his role as the founding rabbi in Livingston, it was Rabbi Kaznetz's visionary leadership that paved the way for the existence of Mikvah Chana. He assumed responsibility for the organization's formation, playing a pivotal role in turning the dream of Mikvah Chana into a reality. Serving as president, he took immense pride in the abundant blessings it brought to the community.
So now let's start the program. Rabbanit Chamutal Shoval, accomplished teacher and scholar, and her family have spent the last year and a half here with us from Neve Daniel in Israel. We have been blessed to have the chance to learn from her, whether in the classrooms at the Kushner Academy or in the many talks and classes she has given across New Jersey and New York. Rabbanit Shoval brings a unique perspective and is truly an inspiration to us as a wife and sisters of soldiers serving in the IDF, as the mother of her amazing girls, as a teacher, as a scholar, as a friend. We are honored to have her share a few words with us here tonight.
Wow, welcome everybody. I can't see you, but. So like Gala said, I'm here from Israel for 2 years. And 3 weeks ago, I was meeting a lot of my Israeli friends, teachers, shlichim. We had a conference in Newark, and I was really happy to see so many of my friends that I haven't seen since the beginning of the war. One of them, her name is Adar. She's younger. And I saw on social media that she got married recently. So when I met her, I gave her a hug and I said, Adar, Mazel Tov. She started crying. And I said, what's wrong? You just got married, you're in Gala. She said, yes, we traveled to Israel, back home to get married, and now we're back here. So I told her, so why are you crying? So she told me, where I teach very young kids, I teach Hebrew, and they don't want to upset the kids, so I can't speak about the war. So I told her, but why are you crying? So she said, yes, I just got married a month ago, but many years ago, I used to date this guy. His name was Avinatan, and he's in Gaza. He's one of the hostages, and I didn't know. And I told her, I'm so sorry, Adar, I didn't know. And I asked for his full name to daven for him. And she said to me, you know, I'm building my house. I'm building a new home, even though a little bit of my heart is still broken. So I gave her another hug and I told her, Adar, do you know, everyone feels the same. We have to build, we have to live our lives, but our hearts are broken. And if I have to think of one word that kept going with me, that I kept thinking about in regards of this war, of this difficult situation, is home. This war is all about our homes. I feel like our national home was invaded and people lost their homes. Some of them lost their confidence of being home. And so many people left their homes. And we have hostages waiting to come home. So everything about this war is home-based. And many of us here are trying to connect to our home back in Israel. So many of us are going on missions and sending things. And one of my brothers told me, you know, it makes me so happy to get these wonderful letters decorated by kids. Keep sending them. He said, it reminds me of my kids back home. And I think mikveh is the base of a Jewish home. And when I read this parasha that we're about to read, Parashat Ki Tisa, I thought of the kiyol, the sink in the Mishkan. And I know most of you know the famous midrash that the kiyol was donated and made by the women. The women gave their mirrors in order to build the kiyol, the sink. And the midrash tells us that this kiyol came from the mirrors that the Jewish women were using in Egypt. When Am Yisrael was enslaved in Egypt, everyone were depressed, and the men were working so hard, there was no intimacy. All they wanted to do was come home after long days of work and go to sleep. And the women used these mirrors to create intimacy, to make sure that we still have kids, that we have a Jewish family, that we have continuity. They used these mirrors. So many years later, they decided to give them to the Mishkan, to make the kiyol, the sink, out of these mirrors, to remember how they saved a nation by saving each and everyone's home. The women made sure that their contribution to the Mishkan was based on the Jewish home. When our national home was severely hurt, almost 5 months ago, we came together. And tonight we're coming together to raise money for this incredible cause, to make sure that the Jewish home is secure. As women, we have the power to build homes, just like we had the power to build the Mishkan. And if you think about it, the water in the mikveh is a symbol of life, and it connects to the sink in the Mishkan, which was always a symbol of what women can do in this world. I want to share with you a story that I read on Facebook. I don't know these people, but I was so inspired that I said, I have to tell you this story. There's a guy called Yehoyada Sidon, and this guy is the commander of a unit. It's called Chativa 55, Unit 55, and he fought in Gaza for 5 months. And 5 weeks ago, he was in Khan Yunis with his troops. They were going from house to house, and when he entered one of the houses to make sure there are no terrorists in the house, he saw candlesticks. And he said, it doesn't belong here. I'll take it with me, and I'm going to try to find the owner. So after being released, Baruch Hashem, safe and sound, he called his father and he said, Abba, you have Facebook, I don't. Take a picture of the candlesticks and let's find the owner. And the father did. So the father posted it everywhere on Facebook. If you want to know which is the biggest and the funniest group in Israel, when you need anything, it's called Tzrichim Mashu. I need something. So this picture of the candlesticks went up on Facebook, and with the phone number of his father, Yehoyada's father. And one day, the phone rang. And this woman says, these are my candlesticks. I live in Kfar Aza, and I want to tell you what happened to me on that day. And the woman said, on October 7th, I got up in the morning, and the sirens were going on, and I went into the mamad, into the safe room, the shelter, and I hid there for hours. And that woman told him that her grandfather brought from Warsaw after the war menorahs and candlesticks, and she had this special collection, which was her family heritage, and she put them on the wall. And everyone who came into her house saw the candlesticks and the menorahs, and she would always tell the story, how her father brought them from Warsaw after the war. And she says on October 7th, I was in the mamad, hiding and praying and crying, and I heard people outside speaking in Arabic, and I didn't know what would happen to me. And then I started to hear drilling voices, and I thought, God forbid they're trying to get into the mamad. But they weren't. They took off the walls the candlesticks and the menorahs. They actually had the time to drill it out, and they took the whole collection. And she said finally, when the Chayalim came and they were saved, she and her family, Baruch Hashem, she said she came out to the living room and there was nothing on the wall. And she said, all I wanted is to find one piece from this amazing collection that my father left me. And she hugged Yehoyada, the soldier, and she said, thank you. You brought back the candlestick, but you also brought back my father and this memory of our family, and I can't thank you enough. And I think that we're a little bit like these candlesticks from Gaza. Some things will go back to like they were, and we'll rebuild everything that we need to build. We'll keep building our homes. And I hope for that woman that she'll find all the menorahs and the candlesticks, but we have them. At least one pair of candlesticks, we have them. And this story made me so hopeful to know that we have the power to rebuild everything and this connection with Israel. Thank you, everybody.
My name is Aleeza Ben Shalom, and I am a matchmaker and dating coach.
Hi. Welcome.
You're gonna save me, right? Finding your person is the hardest thing to do in the entire world. And that's where I come in.
Aleeza Ben Shalom is the renowned globetrotting Jewish matchmaker, captivating audiences worldwide. With her highly popular Netflix show, Jewish Matchmaking, reaching millions of viewers across 130 countries and being translated into 37 languages, she has become a true international sensation. Aleeza finds immense joy in hearing herself dubbed in Swahili, further solidifying her global impact. Beyond her impressive television career, Aleeza is a multifaceted professional, excelling as a matchmaker, dating coach, speaker, and author. Her books, Get Real, Get Married, a guide to get over your hurdles and under the chuppah. and virtual dating, your guide to relationships in a socially distanced world, have provided invaluable guidance to countless individuals seeking love and companionship. Aleeza's expertise has earned her widespread recognition in the media. Her insightful relationship advice has been sought after by prestigious outlets such as BBC World News, NPR, Rolling Stone, People, and Women's Health. Please welcome Aleeza.
Well, hello. How are you guys doing? Good? If I slide this, is this okay because there's a cord? Okay, hold on. Give us 1 minute. This is a technical thing. Just a little. How far can we go? How low can you go? Is that good? Yeah, great. Sold. Yay. Okay. I am super excited to be with you here tonight. I was just in Nashville. It was much easier there. It went like this. How y'all doing? We had a really great time there. I had a pink hat on and all. It worked out really well. Anyway, we're going to do something super special right now. It's how I like to start my programs. Because of everything that's going on in Israel and how heavy our hearts are, we have to lift ourselves up, but I need your help in also lifting up the soldiers. So I'm going to do something that nobody does. Take out your phones, okay? Take them out. Make sure the ringer's off, but here's what we're going to do. I'm going to actually do it here with you. I'm going to light up my phone. See, I turned my light on. Don't turn yours on yet. Wait. I'm coming, okay? I'm going to virtually light this front row. Okay, I'm virtually lighting you. Turn your lights on. Turn your lights on. Keep turning. And then pass it back. Turn your lights on and pass it back. Pass it back. Fast as you can go. Come on. Think about what's happening in Israel. How quickly, how much more light do we need? We got to do it, and we got to do it fast. Keep lighting. Yep, hold it up when you got it. That's not enough lights. I think there's over 600 people here. Some people aren't lit. Oh my gosh, that's spectacular. Don't move, okay? I want to see the back of your phone because I want to see the spotlight. You look at the front, okay? Here's what we're going to do, okay? I'm going to take a video, and I'm going to say, I stand with Israel, and then you're going to say, we stand with Israel. And then I'm going to take this message, and I'm going to send the video to the soldiers. You in? But you got to stand. Everybody get up. Holy smokes, you guys are stunning. I'm blue. I look like a Smurf, but it's fine. Actually, we're going to be the Smurfs for Purim. Don't tell anybody. It's a secret. Here we go. Are you ready? Wow. I'm Aleeza Ben Shalom. I'm in Livingston with Mikvah Chana, and I want to tell you, I stand with Israel. We stand with Israel. Wow. Okay, now turn your phone lights off so you don't drain your battery, okay? Important things here, you know? Okay, so it goes like this. There's about 15 million Jews in the world, and there's 15 million ways to be Jewish. How many of you watched the show? Yeah? Oh, good. Yeah, there's about 15 million ways to be Jewish. If we said, there's, lots of questions that Jews ask in the world, there wouldn't be 15 million questions. There'd be like 47 million questions. Right? But there's 15 million Jews. There's all different ways to be Jewish, okay? And we don't really care which one you pick, right? It actually just doesn't matter because that's your mission, and you should do it in the way that you need to do it, and you take it step by step by step by step. Whatever you're supposed to be doing, you should be doing. Now, because this is a mikveh event, I'm going to tell you a mikveh story. Is that all right with you? Okay, good. Okay. So, first of all, I happen to love mikvah. It's probably my favorite mitzvah. And I don't know, like, where does it come from? Why? Maybe because I'm Pisces. I like the water. Yeah. But I happen to love it. I became a Gala teacher. I teach brides. I also became a mikvah attendant. I took a class in Israel to be a balanit. So if you need to go to the mikvah, you could call me. It's all good. But years ago, when I was first married, I needed to go to the mikvah, and it was the middle of the winter, and there was an insane winter storm in Philadelphia. And there was about 2 feet of snow on the ground. And I called the mikvah lady, and I'm like, hi, you gonna be there? And she's like, no. And I was like, no, I have to go to the mikvah. She goes, yeah, you and another 3 ladies, but I can't get there. I said, I've got a Jeep. If I come pick you up, can I come to the mikvah? She goes, yeah, and grab the other 3 ladies too. I said, okay, great. Everybody gets in the Jeep. We're driving to the mikvah. The mikvah is in the back of a school, right? School here, mikvah down the long driveway. There. You with me? So we get there and we pull up and we look, and there is 2 feet of snow for like as far as the eye can see. And the ladies look at me and they're like, we're not going to the mikvah. And I was like, oh yeah, we're going to the mikvah. We're gonna go. They're like, how's that gonna happen? I was like, I don't know. And one of the ladies in the back is screaming, there's a snowplow! There's a snowplow! And I'm like, okay. So we're like rolling out the window and we're jumping out of the car. And the guy's like, hi, ma'am, how can I help you? And I was like, hi, we need to go there. He's like, well, that's like private property. I was like, yeah, we have permission. I was like, I need you to plow that. And he's like, the whole thing? I'm like, no, just like a straight line. And then we're just gonna go in there. And I was like, he's like, ma'am, I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm like, hold on, how much cash you guys have? I started collecting 20s. I'm like, I got $100. He's like, all right, let me see how far the plow goes. He takes the plow, he goes down the drive like, and at a certain point we hear like, beep, 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 and he starts backing up. He's like, ma'am, it's the best I can do. I'm like, sold, I'll take it. He got like halfway down the driveway, and we all trudged through the snow, and we walked the rest of the way in. And we went to the mikvah. When something is special to you, when something is really important to you, nothing stops you. And you have to know what's important to you. Mikvah, it's a mitzvah that was important to me. I didn't grow up religious. I grew up secular. I loved my Judaism, but I wasn't practicing my Judaism. It's just not what I was taught. It was not what I knew. And when I learned about it, I was like, this is like a pretty smart thing, and I really, really like it. And I just kind of got into mikvah. This is my thing. Anyway, I'm going to tell you a little thing, and I hope this is okay, ladies. I went to see the mikvah today. How many of you have seen the mikvah? How many of you have not yet seen the mikvah here? I'll make you a deal. When the whole show is over, and y'all win your prizes with the raffle, 10 p.m., if you have not yet been to this mikvah, I will give you a personal tour of the mikvah. Are you in? No, for real. How many of you want to meet me at the mikvah? Okay, we could maybe fit about 40 or 50. Yes? Okay, if you want in 10 p.m. tonight, I won't go to sleep. I'll go to sleep late. Meet me at the mikvah, okay? Okay, I got permission from the boss. Okay? 10 p.m., I'm not kidding. I'm going to drive to the mikvah. I got a car here. I'm meeting you there. Okay, I'll remind you at the end. Okay, here we go. I've been doing Jewish matchmaking for a really long time. And I got into it accidentally. I had young kids. I was a little bit bored. Who can relate to that? I loved being a mother. I loved being a wife. And I forgot that I also loved talking to adults. And a girlfriend of mine, she's like, oh, you can just volunteer. You can be a matchmaker online. And I was like, cool, sign me up. I'm going to do it. And I signed up, and I started volunteering as a matchmaker. And from being a volunteer, I started to then do coaching, and from coaching, I then started to do matchmaker training, and then my husband's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know, I think I'm building a company all about matchmaking. He's like, go for it. Good, let's do it. And it organically started, and it was a really tremendous blessing. And it went all the way from that to Netflix. So how do you go from Aleeza Ben Shalom in Philadelphia to living in Israel, moving there, making Aliyah 3 years ago? By the way, you have to give a round of applause for that. Huge. We have 5 children. We moved 3 years ago. They were ages 7 to 17. Now they're 10 to 20. And yeah, we went at the perfect time to mess up every one of our kids. But it doesn't matter because COVID ruined them anyway. So anyway, I got into matchmaking and I fell in love with it. And then I started doing these live matchmaking programs. And this is really something fascinating, which you're going to see tonight. I did a program in New York City, check into my hotel, do my thing. I get all ready. I come out and I'm like, okay, let's go to the event. And I walk out the hotel and this lady looks at me and she goes, you're Aleeza. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh my gosh, I need you. I'm like, man, I wish my husband would say it like that. Woo! That was quite a warm welcome. Matchmaking is such a thing. Has anybody heard you make 3 matches and you go to? It's not true. I'm so sorry, it's not true. I asked the rabbi. There's no source for it anywhere. If anybody has a source, call me about it, because I've asked like dozens of rabbis and nobody knows a source for it. But I'll tell you what it is. It's a mitzvah. It is a huge mitzvah. It is one of the greatest things that you can do for somebody is to introduce them to their person. And it's also the hardest thing to do in the world. Would you not agree? Yeah. How many people had a really easy time finding their soulmate? It was no big deal. Liar. No, it's not. It's hard. It's really, really hard. I've been all over the world. I was in Chile and Argentina, all over the United States, all over Canada, which, by the way, it's really kind of large, like Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver. There's Jews everywhere. London, all over Israel. And I was even in Australia. And you guys might be like the second largest group to Australia. They had like over 1,000 people there. And I had to learn to speak Australian. Much easier than Hebrew. And I said to them, listen, you guys know my famous phrase. I said, date them till you hate them. And they're like, nah, date them till you hate them. I was like, right, yeah, that one. They said, oh, you do that very well. I said, oh, good. I speak Australian. Yay, good for me. Matchmaking is probably one of the hardest jobs in the world. Somebody who is a doctor who like saves lives is like, no, it's not. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. So maybe you're right. Saving a life is more important. But I do think that matchmaking is similar to saving a life. We work really hard to bring ourselves together with a life partner, and it's extremely difficult. So I want to give you one inside tip, because tonight you're going to be honorary inductees into Aleeza's Matchmaking Academy. Do you agree? Yeah, good. Okay, because you really didn't have a choice. So it goes like this. The number one thing you have to know about matchmaking and life is push. P-U-S-H stands for pray until something happens. You're going to help me out here. You guys on that side are going to be pray. You're going to be until. You're going to be something. And you're going to be happens. Are you ready? Here we go. And when nothing happens, you should. Yeah, that's right. Just keep on praying because we're Jewish. And eventually, you'll get a yes. Or not. God sometimes likes to say no. Sometimes people come to me, they're like, Aleeza, God didn't answer my prayers. I said, oh, God answered your prayers. You just didn't like the message. He just said no. But sometimes God says yes. And sometimes God says no, and sometimes God just says, not today. That means it could be tomorrow, it could be the next day. It just means not right now, not in this moment. When I was going for this whole Netflix show, as you can imagine, I had a lot of thoughts, a lot of stress, a little bit of anxiety, and I was thinking, ooh, could this be good for the Jewish people? Is there any way that this could be something really amazing, something really special? And I started to get very nervous. And God and I are we're close. We talk all the time. I don't have to be in synagogue. I don't have to be at the kotel. I don't have to be in Israel. I could be in my car. Doesn't matter. God and I talk. We talk about parking spots. You guys talk about parking spots? Can I just tell you? You should ask for bigger things. Start the prayer now for the raffle, okay? Prize number 25. It looks great. Anyway, I started to think, oh, what's going to be? And I said, you know what, God? I need a sign. Give me a sign that this is going to be the right thing. By the way, it's not a Jewish thing. Don't ask for a sign. But, Eliezer, when he was going to look for a wife, Avram sent him out, look for a wife for my son. He's like, God, I need a sign. So I'm just taking the lead from the matchmaker over here. God, I need a sign that this show is going to be a good thing for the Jewish people. And I didn't get a message right away, but I kept pursuing it. We make Aliyah to Israel, March of 2021. Bruchim haba'im, shalom liYisrael. Quarantine, 11 days, shalom. Go straight to your room. Don't talk to anybody. Don't breathe on anybody. Go now. That was my welcoming to Israel. And after 11 days, we were in Yerushalayim. We get out of quarantine. Where is the first place that you might go if you get out of quarantine and you're in Yerushalayim? The kotel. That is right. We go to the kotel, and I go, and I'm like, oh, God, thank you. My family, you got us here with my husband, my kids, our pandemic puppy. You got us all here, all of our stuff, our lift, you name it, we got here. I'm crying. I'm so relieved. It's been so many years. I've always wanted to come home, and I never thought I was going to make it because I kind of had too many sidekicks over here that didn't want to be schlepped along. But you did it. We're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I wipe my tears. I step back from the kotel, and my phone starts buzzing, and I pull it out, and they're like, hi, Aleeza. We have 4 producers waiting for you on the line. Are you coming? And I was like, oh, my gosh. I was busy talking to God and not you. I'm so sorry. I get on the phone. I'm like, please forgive me. They're like, oh, it's okay. I'm like, no, I was talking to God. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry to disturb your blessings and prayers. They're not Jewish. I was like, no, God, and I rapped, I can't pray for that long, I only have so much tolerance. We're going to let you get right back to those prayers. And this is probably the best place in the world to tell you, we picked you and we're sending you a contract. And I'm like, oh, round of applause for that. That's how I found out that it was going to be a yes for the show. And for me, that was my sign, because I said to God, I need this to be good for the Jewish people. We call it a Kiddush Hashem. It should be a sanctification of Hashem's name, of God's name. It should be something amazing for the Jewish people. And I wanted the assurance that it would be good. No matter how good a person is, I don't know if you realize this, if you have a microphone on and you have a camera on you and you have a film rolling and you cut and splice, right? I could be going, laughing at a funny joke that somebody said. Somebody could say something and it could look like I'm laughing in their face, right? It doesn't always come out so neat and pretty. So it's not only a matter of who I am and what I was doing that had to be done right, but it was also a matter of things being divinely aligned and everything being in place so that everything went really well. And thank God I think it did, yeah? Okay, so quick question. How many of you did not yet watch the show? Don't be afraid. Just put your hands up high. Keep going, keep going. There's about 25% of you here. It's every show, it's amazing. Why are you here? I know, it wasn't for me. It's for Mikvah Chana. Good, good, good. Anyway, I'll teach you a little bit about me so that you know who I am, where I came from, my little story. Hang on, we're going to do this bracha thing. Okay, so I'm going to say a blessing, and you guys get to say amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyeh bidvaro. Yeah, I think at football games they cheer when people keep drinking. Yeah. Nah, they're drinking something else. Anyway, so, all right, goes like this. Aleeza's Jewish house rules and how I grew up. I grew up conservative, Jewish. USY, anybody? Actually, I have two friends here that were in USY with me when I was 16. Hello. Okay, BBYO. Right? Okay. Jewish, loved my Judaism, but we didn't do the religious stuff at home. We didn't know it. It just wasn't our custom. But there was one thing that was really important, and my dad always drilled it in. You will marry somebody Jewish. We need Jewish grandchildren, or we will disown you. You know, when you're 16, that's a little bit scary. And I was like, ooh, okay. So I did. I got married. But I also became observant along the way, and it was Jewish, not too Jewish. Oops, sorry. All right, that was number one. Number two, love Israel, support Israel. Yeah. House rules, don't move there. We support it with our money. We support it with all of our heart, but moving there, oy vavoy, it's so far. Yeah, sorry, we messed up on that one too. Okay, third thing, pop quiz, right? On Passover, we eat. On Rosh Hashanah, we blow the. On Christmas, we eat. And when you have leftovers, you don't want to trafe your kitchen, so you eat it off of. We're the same kind of Jew. Yes. Yeah, you get me, right? That was my Judaism. That's what I grew up with, and that's what I love. And then I also became this other human who started covering head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and toes. Yeah, not so compatible with the Chinese food on paper plates, if you know what I mean. But I didn't take everything on, and I definitely didn't take everything on all at once, because it's a little bit overwhelming. So here's what I did. Okay, another pop quiz. Sorry. I'm going to interrupt myself. There are this many mitzvot. It's a 3-digit number. Right. Are you going to do all of them? You can't. Good. Phew. But you should do some of them. So I decided, the number 100 was too large. So I just picked the top 4, okay? And this is the Aleeza top 4, and here's what I did. The first thing that I did, I was like, you know what? This kosher thing, I learned something special. Some of you, maybe you're like me and you didn't know this, or maybe you're smarter than me and you did know this, but it's not your plates that are supposed to stay kosher. It's your body. Did anybody I didn't get that message. I didn't want to ruin the plates. And they're like, no, why do the plates have to be kosher? Because the food that you eat should be kosher for you. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. So I was like, okay, fine. No more Chinese food that's not kosher. Is there a Chinese food place in Philadelphia that is kosher? No. Okay, fine. No more Chinese food. I'm going to keep kosher. I can do this kosher thing. That was mitzvah number 1. Second mitzvah, I said, you know what? I'm going to do prayer. Okay? Now, prayer is a little bit overwhelming. Have you guys been to services and seen that prayer book? It's huge. It's overwhelming. But I'm Jewish. We chutzpahdik mastermind. What is the shortest Jewish prayer in the world that everybody knows, and it's 6 words long? Yes. Audiences all over the world. By the way, you are the 50th audience that I've spoken to since almost a year ago. Okay? Everybody knows Shema. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. I wake up, I say Shema in the morning. I say Shema at night. Prayer. I'm praying. I'm Jewish. I'm doing this thing. Fine. Modesty. For ladies, it's like a whole overhaul in your closet. Think of it, modesty equals shopping spree. Okay? It's fabulous. It's wonderful. But the covering head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So it's collarbones, elbows, knees. I called my girlfriend. I'm like, how long does it have to be? And she's like, how religious do you want to be? And I was like, I don't know. I just want to know the rules. I want to go shopping at the Gap. She's like, it depends. And I was like, ooh, this is going to take a long time. Okay, maybe I'll start to them. I'll cover them. I figured it out. I got to a place where I was comfortable, but I did a little bit of learning about it, and I got a whole new wardrobe. Yay! That was number 3. The last thing that I did was Shabbat. So I had always done Jewish stuff. I was also involved with Hillel in college. I was president of Hillel. I was social chair. Like, you name it, I did it. I loved it. So I go to a Jewish singles retreat before I met my husband. Well, I actually met him there. And it's a good place to meet somebody. You guys hosting any Jewish singles retreats? That's how you can all meet. I'm planting it in the brains of the organizers. I got you. So I go to this Jewish singles retreat, and I come back, and I'm very inspired. Very inspired. I'm like, oh my gosh, God runs the world. Shabbat is the meaning of life. I'm like, fell off the deep end, sorry. Anyway, I come back and I'm like, I'm all pepped up, and I walk into my brother's room and I'm like, I figured it out. You can ask me any question. Shabbat is the answer. He looks at me, he's like, oh my gosh, you drank the Kool-Aid. What is wrong with my sister? I'm like, no, ask me anything. Shabbat is the answer. He's like, fine. You tell me, how is 5 times 5 Shabbat? I'm like, I got this. 5 times 5 is 25. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 is the 7th day of the week. Shabbat! I walk out and he goes, I want the Kool-Aid. Anyway, I came back very inspired. I loved my Judaism, and now I started to live my Judaism. And all I took on was 4 things. But when you take on those 4 things, they look at you and they're like, oh my gosh, she's like observant. What is that? And I didn't really know what that was either, because I was dating online, and I had like all of these sexy photos with like a leopard top and cut off sleeves. And I was talking about how much I loved Shabbat and how God was so wonderful. And these guys are like, you need to change your photos. Like, you're religious. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm like conservative. They're like, not anymore, sweetheart. I had kind of changed, and I didn't really know that I had changed. And it was a really interesting time in my life. Okay. How many of you guys are married here? Let's see. Oh, we got a good crowd. You guys want some like relationship wisdom? Yeah. 3 ladies want some relationship wisdom. Usually I have a whole crowd of men and women together, and I ask that question, and you get like 1 guy in the audience. He's like, yeah, and everybody else is silent. In a room full of almost 600 ladies, 3 want advice? Too bad. I'm giving it to all y'all. Okay. Now, I have this book that you heard of, like Get Real, Get Married. So the sequel that in my mind has been coming out for years is called Stay Real, Stay Married. The whole goal is to actually figure it out. And one of the secrets that my husband and I have to staying real and staying married, we do not say, I love you. Shocker. But what we do say is, I'm loving you. Why? Love is a verb. Love is an action. In Hebrew, the word love, ahava, okay? When you break it down at the root of it, have means to give, okay? By giving, I develop love for you. So the more that I give to you, the more that I love you. If I were to ask parents of small children, do you love your children more or do they love you more? What is the answer? Who loves parents or children? Who loves them more? Parents. Why? Because they give more. Maybe later in life, children have a chance to catch up. Maybe. But in a relationship, a husband and a wife always have the opportunity to give and to develop more and more love. It's not a statement, I love you. Mazel tov, that's it, we're good. Rest of my life, I love you, you love me, it's good. No, I'm loving you. Loving you means I got to do something with you, for you. I have to be there for our relationship. It's not just you, right? There's me, there's you, and there's this big thing in between us. That's our relationship. And I constantly have to be filling up that bucket and building and giving in order to continue growing love. Some people are like, oh, we fell out of love. No, you didn't. You just fell out of giving. You just don't care anymore. They didn't give to you. You don't give to them. We don't feel so connected. Not rocket science. You don't even need a therapist to tell you that's the problem. That's at the root of it. So if you want to build love, you need to start giving and growing and making an effort in your relationship a little bit more. Now, before we get to the really fun part of the program, I'm going to tell you one more thing. Oh, no, we're going to get to the fun part of the program. Can I please have, hang on, got to go back through the notes. We're going to have two ladies come up here. If we could please have Dina and Alana. Where are you? Come join me. Hi. No, use the mic.
Hello.
Hello. Skirt's fabulous. Love it. Hello.
Hi.
You good?
Yeah.
Hold it closer.
Hi.
Oh, better. Give them a really warm round of applause. Okay, this is called live matchmaking, where we take two people that I don't know, that I've never met, and we torture them. No, I mean, what we do is we love them, we nurture them, we discuss a little bit about you, what you might be looking for, and then we count on all of you to be my volunteer matchmakers. You guys in? Yeah. I mean, the only way to get to the auction is to go through this portion of the program. Okay, so what's your name? Either how old are you or what's the age range that you're willing to date. I know, did you see her jaw drop when I said that? We don't have to tell our age. Just what age range would you like to date? Tell us what you do also.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alana Edery. I'm
Everybody
25.
Hold on, say hi, Alana.
I guess the age range is about my age to maybe 5 years older, I would say. And I'm an R&D scientist at a medical device startup company.
Ooh. Ooh.
That was good.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Dina. I'm 57. Yay. And I hadn't really thought about it, but not too old.
That's
okay.
a good one.
Maybe below a certain age.
Okay, and probably not younger than 55.
Not too young either.
Right?
Yeah.
Not too old, not too young, just right.
Yes.
Like Goldilocks
just
in
right.
the beds. I got it. Okay, good. And what are you looking for in a partner?
Do you want me to go first? Oh. Okay. Someone who's Shomer Shabbat and kosher. Someone who's like friendly and talkative and can have like good conversation. And someone who eventually wants to make Aliyah.
Okay.
Someone who is spiritual, not necessarily on either direction, but spiritual. Funny.
What kind of humor?
I can be a little sarcastic. So that would be, somebody who just challenges me, but is also a partner. I would really like a partner.
Okay. Okay, good. Do you know enough information about them to set them up? If you said yes, you failed test number 1.
Oh.
No, you do not. You do not know enough information. You're a good, smart matchmaker. What else do you need to know? Raise your hand if you think you have a question that you need an answer to before you can set them up. No? I thought I had a young volunteer. Who has a question? Did you have a question? Where do you live now, and where would you like to live with your life partner?
I currently live in southern New Jersey. I'm from Philadelphia.
Woohoo!
And as long as, God bless, my mom's here, so as long as my mom is still here, I would like to stay in this area.
Awesome.
I live in Highland Park, and I work in Princeton area right now, but I'm hoping to make Aliyah at some point in the nearer future. So somebody who, either the New York region or Israel.
New York or Israel? They're not so far from each other.
No,
We're
not
close.
so far.
Who has another question here? Yes, call it out loud. What do you do in your spare time? Do you have spare time?
Yeah, a little. No, I'm kidding. I have a lot. We're still at a startup stage where we haven't quite gotten so busy yet. But I like to watch TV, hang out with family, and play sports sometimes. And I guess like go out and do fun things like activities together. So either like a hike or go-karting, I don't know, just like some fun random things and travel.
Okay.
I guess one of the blessings of being 57 is that I'm surrounded by really wonderful friends. So I'm really blessed to have wonderful friends that I have spent time with, and to have the just peace. I like, just to be able to chill out, just to sit in my backyard, just be grateful when it's beautiful outside. It's the older you get, I think the simpler it becomes. You just want peace and someone to enjoy that with you.
Okay, do you know enough to set them up yet?
Oh.
Phew, you all passed test number 2. Good. Do we have a question from anybody over here? Call it out. Do you want to have kids? Do you have kids? What about if a partner has kids? How do you feel?
You can go first.
I don't
She
have
keeps
kids,
passing it off. She's like,
but I would like to have a family. I'm not against someone who has kids, but yeah, so I guess I'm open to it.
I'm very fortunate to have 2 children. My daughter Rose is right here, who's videotaping, and she's 28, if you don't mind my saying. And my son is 20.
Is she also single? Is that why we're mentioning that?
She's married.
Oh, she's married. Just off your radar.
My son is 24. My dog is just about as old. And again, I don't think you get this old without having children and grandchildren and things like that. So I'm certainly not opposed to meeting someone with children.
Okay, check. Yes. What are you looking for in a man? I mean, a little bit more detail than you maybe already gave us. Something unique, something different. He should be, he should be able to wear a pink shirt with confidence. He should not have spinach when he chews his food and he's sucking his teeth. I mean,
I guess I have funny ones, but for the serious one would be communication, because I think that's really important, and I've had experiences where people have been lacking in the communication department.
That's normal.
And then funny ones would be like, doesn't chew with their mouth open. But that can be taught also. I think
she's not accepting him as he is. If he chews with his mouth open, deal breaker.
We'll deal with it. I think, like she said, funny, can like take a joke and give it back. I like sarcastic humor also. And I think just someone who wants to go on an adventure.
I hadn't really thought about any of this until I was volunteered for this position.
Oh, you mean voluntold?
Yes, essentially. So it's that's why I'm letting Alana go first.
Wait, her daughter,
all of my friends.
Her daughter wants to answer for her.
No, that was actually,
looking for.
That was my best friend.
Oh, her best friend. Hold on. What is she looking for, my friend?
She needs somebody supportive who will love her through thick and thin, somebody there, somebody fun, outgoing, active, but somebody who is there for you, always.
It's exactly what she said. This
is why we need friends.
Yes, absolutely.
Friends help friends make matches.
Yes, and yes. And
yes, and yes. She agrees. Good. Next question. Yes. Okay, what level, this is specifically for you, what level of religiosity?
I would say, the baseline is keeping Shabbat and kosher, but still wants to like go out and have a good time with
Just not on Shabbat.
Just not on Shabbat. But yeah, like they can learn or not learn. It's up to them. I think whatever they want to do. I just
Flexidox for anybody who watched the show.
Flexidox, but keeping Shabbat and kosher has to be a part of it.
Shabbat and kosher baseline. Oh, Shabbat, kosher, and maybe mikvah?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, question in the back. Oh, we're not going to answer that one, but that's a great question. The question was, what was your last relationship? You can see them after. They'll give you some info. Yes. Oh, yeah, deal breakers, red flags.
Ignorance.
It's not bliss in your 50s?
No,
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking. Just ignorance.
Yeah.
Everything else you can tolerate.
Yeah. It's the inner voice.
I think for me, it's probably the Aliyah. Like if they don't want to move to Israel, I see myself there eventually. So if they don't want that, then it's not my team for me.
Okay. Now we're taking an intermission break because I have to teach you as matchmakers. Oh, you got another thought?
I was just glad for the intermission.
Oh, no, you're not going anywhere. The intermission is like 30 seconds. It goes like this. There are 3 jobs that a matchmaker has. Job number 1, you have to be an introducer. You have to think of an idea and you have to set people up. That's the only thing that you have to do tonight is be thinking about who you might know for these lovely ladies, okay? Job number 2 as a matchmaker is to be a coach. You got to walk the walk and talk the talk and hold their hand through it. You're not skilled enough to do that, so we're not going to do that tonight. And number 3 is to be the closer, right? Like, woohoo, you're getting married, or, ha-ha, bye, we're dumping them, okay? You don't got to do that either. I can handle that, no problem. You call me if we get anywhere with this, okay? Okay? Your only job tonight is to put on your thinking cap, like pretend like we're 3 again. Put on our thinking cap. And you need to be thinking about, who do I know for this person? Or if I don't know anybody for them, what else do I want to know about them? Because I need to make an introduction to somebody. Like we got to make a match. So maybe I need to get their phone number and I want to talk to them more so that I potentially could make a match. Do you understand your role? Your role is an introducer. What's your role? Somebody said something else. You were wrong. But everybody else, you're right. You passed. Okay? Now, politics, do I dare ask? Which way does this state swing? Every way. Okay, great. Do politics matter to you? You don't have to disclose which you prefer.
They don't matter to me, but the person has to be living in reality when it comes to politics, because these days I've met a lot of people, my personal friends from college that are living not in reality.
She goes, politics don't matter to me, but they have to live in reality. Politics matter to her.
No, they need to understand what a situation is and not be brainwashed by media.
Okay, here's what she said. If you're far to the left or you're far to the right, just somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
See? Matchmaker equals psychic. Yes?
I think Alana said it very well.
Ditto.
That's good.
Yeah. We're going to take one more question back there. Shout it out. Ooh, I don't love to dig into past relationships only because it gets a little messy and private, but you can talk to them after. So I'm going to throw it. Was there another question this way that we had? Oh, looks. Sure, let's end on the best topic of all.
I'm not sure, but I think my type is more of an Israeli-American look.
Dark skin, dark hair.
Yeah, I'm Sephardi, so there's like a little bit of that. I can't do it, though.
She likes the Sephardi look.
I'm half-half, so.
Half-half.
Yeah.
We won't judge you for that.
I think people become more interesting once I get to know them.
Okay, she basically just said you could set her up with anybody. She's going to give them a few dates. And, if they're smart and they're sarcastic and they got something good to say and they like to sit in the backyard and watch the sunset, check. She's laughing. She didn't disagree, so it's true. Okay. Do you feel ready to match these people? Thank God, because that's the only correct answer. Okay. Now, here's what we're going to do. Everybody is going to put your hand in the air. Wave it around like you just don't care. Keep your hand in the air. Do not do anything with your hand until I finish talking. Now, if you have an idea for one of these ladies, your hand stays up. If you don't have an idea, but you want to know more about them, because maybe you'll have an idea, but you need their phone number to talk to them, keep your hand up. If you have no idea, no brains in your head, no thoughts in your mind, you can put your hand down. Now, I'm going to count hands. You guys have an exceptionally large audience, but the largest number of hands we had in the air was 41 at our largest show. So here we go. Here's how many ideas we have in the audience. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're 2 there or 1? 9, 10, 11. Any more back there? Yeah, 12, 13. Good. Wave it. 14, 15. Thank you. Hang on. 16. Anybody else way back there? You guys in the back, you lose. 16. There are 16 potential match ideas that are in the audience. Give a huge round of applause. Now here's what happens, because we got to wrap this show. You got to win some prizes, and then a bunch of you are meeting me in the mikvah, 10 p.m. Okay? So you guys are going to stay over here. 16 of y'all are going to come up here and swap numbers and schmooze with the people that maybe want to set you up. You're going to start dating. You're going to go out. It's going to be fantastic. Somebody's going to get married. You're going to call me, and we're all going to go, Mazel Tov! Thank you. Thank you. It was fabulous.
Thank you.
And we can't wait to match you. You guys stay right here. Yeah, right there on the side. Don't disappear. Okay? I'm just going to end with a blessing, and then I'm going to turn the mic back over so that we can win some exciting prizes. My blessing for all of you goes like this. If you are single and you're looking for your soulmate, may you get married. If you found your soulmate, may you have children. If you've got enough children, may you have grandchildren. If you've got grandchildren, may you make more matches, become a matchmaker, and help the cycle to begin. Thank you so much.
Wow, Aleeza. So to continue Aleeza's incredible effort, everyone has a third card in your bag that you can be part of a local Metro West Shidduch club. There's a scan QR code. You can sign up and join our new local Shidduch club. So please continue this effort. Everybody has 10 minutes to go out and buy more raffle tickets, and we will start the prizes in about 10 minutes. And thank you all for coming. What an amazing, amazing night. Dessert is in the lobby, youth center, more food. Enjoy.